I'm Frank DeBretti. Welcome to the first 5-minute quick licks lesson. In these lessons, I'm hoping to show you some new ideas that you might have not tried before, expand your musical horizon. Hopefully you can take these ideas and elaborate upon them yourself and come up with your own phrases. I had gotten an email from Brendan Yates, and Brendan writes, I'm primarily a rock guitar player trying to expand my country vocabulary. How do you go about playing open strings and adding them to your licks? Noticed you use them quite a bit. In country guitar playing, I guess I do. It's sort of my attempt in trying to sound authentic. I grew up listening to mostly rock guitar players and kind of got into country through that. Really just when I moved to Nashville is when I first started really needing some open string licks. So people like Jeff Beck and Eddie Van Halen and Steve Howe from Yes, they all used open strings in their playing. And so I had gotten comfortable using some of these ideas, but they didn't sound, what I would say, very country. Steve listened to a lot of Chet Atkins, so I started listening to Chet Atkins, and that led me to Jerry Reed, and then that led me to people like Tommy Emmanuel, and we all know what a freak of nature Tommy is on guitar. So when I got to Nashville, I started taking some of the ideas I learned from those guys and just coming up with my own way of doing open string runs. So the lick I'm about to show you is based on an E7, E dominant chord. You can even use it in E major, or even over like a sort of a honky-tonk or bluesy kind of vamp, like those type of honky-tonk phrases will be great rhythm to play underneath this lead. My note choice, I guess, comes from sort of jazz music. I'm doing a lot of tension and resolution, and what I mean by that is I'm playing notes from the arpeggio of the chord, and I'm approaching them by half steps, and people like George Benson do this all the time. So here's your E7 chord. I'm going to play you the lick first slow so you can hear what it sounds like, and then we'll break it down. A little slower. Actually screwed it up that time. Let me do it again. I don't think I can play the lick slow. I'm so used to doing it fast. And it sounds more effective fast. But what happens when you're doing these open string licks is the open strings are bleeding into your other strings, which gives it a really kind of neat effect. And sometimes when I do these licks, people aren't even sure what they're hearing. They just kind of hear a barrage of notes, and it just doesn't really quite sound like normal scalier passages. So it's a 3-note pattern. I do hybrid picking. You can do any kind of picking you want. You can alternate pick this whole thing. You can use a thumb pick and fingers or just finger style, but I'm just comfortable with hybrid picking. So what's going to happen is that my open strings will all be plucked with my middle finger as part of the hybrid combination, and then the other notes are going to be picked in an alternate fashion where I'm going to go a down and an up. Now when I do this, the first note will be an open string, so that's going to be my middle finger. Then we have the 2 fretted notes. So we'll start with the first 3 notes. It's always a 3-note pattern. So you can learn this as triplets at first. So let me do it slow. Here is the first 3 notes. Open E, G to G sharp. Playing the minor third to the major third. So those are your first 3 notes. Now from the G sharp, we're going to go to an A, which we can play as an open string. So here's now where the main part of the pattern also takes place. I'm playing open A, I'm reaching back to string 6 to get A sharp and B, another chromatic type of approach. I'm approaching the 5th of the chord from the sharp 4 or the flat 5, which is a B flat. So the 6 notes I have. Now the pattern that I did from the A string back to the 6th E string, I'm going to now move that down to the next set of strings. So that gives me the open 4th string. Then string 5, we have the 6th and 7th fret, which is D sharp to E. So that's a chromatic line as well. Then we move that pattern to the next string, the 3rd string, open G, reach back to the 4th string for G sharp and A. Move that pattern down to the next string. This is string 2. We have the B to C sharp and D, which is a flat 7 of the E7 chord. Then we're going to move it up a little bit. We have the open E, reach back to the B string, and we're going to play G and G sharp, minor to major third again. I'm up on the 8th and 9th frets of the B string. And then I'm going to end on the high E, the 7th fret, which is a B, and maybe play the flat 7, which is a D, kind of outline the sound of the E7 chord. So my note choice is really trying to outline the E7 chord and creating this tension and resolution. So slowly again. Here's my E. One more time. And that's how the lick sounds. When you start playing it faster, it takes on a life of its own. There we go. This is the tempo that I'm thinking. A little faster. Now from there you can end it. I'm not sure what I did at the beginning. I went into something else based off an E dominant chord, but you can play like, or you can go down. Which might be something that I had done at the beginning. I actually have trouble playing some of this stuff slow sometimes because I'm usually ripping through these, and it's more the effect that you get when you're playing the open strings. You probably want to play it slowly at first when you're learning it, but from there you can actually do all different kinds of licks. You can do the 3-note pattern almost anywhere. If you're in the key of A, you can do an A, where again I'm playing an open string followed by fretted notes, which would be, that would be in the key of A. So the key of D you could do. So it's really whatever key you want it to be in.